Good morning everybody, welcome to the workout. Let's get started. So we're going to go through the principles of alignment, especially when we're standing, and we start standing in this class. A good tip is to bring both of your feet together, spread the toes, spread the heels, and that should line up your feet and knees in line with your hips. Your knees are nice and soft. And we work our way up to the pelvis where the hip bones and the pubic bones are on the same level. So you've got to think about if your pelvis is tilting forward or if it's tilting back. Okay, you want it to be a nice flat triangle in the pelvic region. Gently engage the abdominals, so not very forcefully, but just bring the navel in a bit so you can feel that you've contracted the abdominals a bit. I want you to lift your chest. Gently pull the shoulder blades together so you're moving from this rounded shoulder position into a more open position through the chest and the front of the shoulders. Your chin is in line with the floor, your eyesight is straight ahead on an imaginary horizon, and the top of the head is lengthening up towards the ceiling. When we breathe in, you breathe in wide and full through the ribcage and you press the diaphragm down a bit. So we'll do a bit of that before we get into the first exercise, which is the roll down. So everyone take a breath in and breathing out. Once again, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. One more time, breathing in. And as you breathe out, nod the chin towards the chest and begin to sequentially peel your back and spine away from an imaginary wall behind you. You're rolling down, leading with the top of the head, your arms are nice and free. When you get to the bottom, if you cannot reach the ground, that is fine. Just roll over to where you can get. Take a breath in, breathe out, draw the tummy in, and you begin to uncurl away from the ground. You want to find your neutral pelvis back fairly quickly, and then you build up your back and spine upon the neutral pelvis in a sequential, controlled manner. Okay, so we take a breath in, we breathe out, we nod the chin towards the chest, and we imagine that we're peeling our spine away from the wall, bit by bit. Coming down, reach towards the ground, make sure the neck is relaxed. Take a breath in. Breathing out, draw the navel in. So this is bringing your awareness into your abdominal area. Draw the navel in and begin to uncurl away from the ground, coming up. So this is a fairly simple movement, but a very good way of warming up the body through flexion and extension of the body. Take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. So I've got you going again because one of the principles in these classes is that sense of a flowing movement. So we don't want to stay in one position for too long. We take a breath in, we breathe out, we draw the navel in and we begin to uncurl, coming up, building up the spine. Not super slow, but certainly you're not rushing the movement. Look at your horizon, take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. So I'm leading with the top of my head. I'm pulling the navel in as I go into this rollover position. I take a breath in here. I breathe out and I begin to uncurl, coming up, and I'm thinking about my pelvis, getting the neutral pelvis, and then building up the back and spine upon the neutral pelvis. Try not to get very tense in the shoulders. It's quite easy to uncurl coming up like this. Don't do this, just keep everything relaxed. Okay, take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. Relaxation is one of the other principles in these classes. That's what we're promoting. So if you're tensing up through the muscles in areas that you shouldn't really be tensing up in, then you need to let go of that, and that is why the roll down and the roll up is pretty good at the start of the class, because it involves that breathing pattern that helps to relax the body. Okay, take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. We've only done about 6 and that's not enough. We'll do a few more. So leading with the top of the head, going down towards the ground, the arms are nice and long. Take a breath in, breathing out and uncurl, coming up. If you're not very flexible through the lower back and through the back of the legs, your hamstring muscles, you can bend the knees a little bit at the bottom. So you take a breath in, you breathe out, you nod the chin towards the chest and you're rolling down. So you're coming down, and if you feel like you're too tight, you can slightly bend the knees or don't go all the way to the ground. You might stop here, like how I've stopped here. I'm quite far away from the ground. Otherwise, you carry on. You take a breath in, you breathe out, and you uncurl, coming up bit by bit. So if you've never done a class like this before, everyone, I want to remind you that you should watch me do the exercise first, demonstrate the exercise at least once or twice, and then you can follow along after that, okay? So don't follow with me if you've never done the class, otherwise you'll be a bit confused. We're going to elevate the arms out to the side like this now. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. We're going to turn the upper body alone, so my hips remain facing forward. I am moving around a fixed lower body. I come back to center, I bring the arms up towards the ceiling, and then I bring them out and down like this, okay? So that corkscrew movement. Breathe in, arms come up. Breathing out, turn towards the corner of the room. Keep your hips facing forward. Come back to center. Push the arms up. So these are all warm-up movements, just so you know. We're going through the different planes of motion for the body. Bring the arms up, interlace the fingers, and turn. So we're just introducing movements into the body and sending signals, neuromuscular signals, to let the body know that we're doing something, we're not just resting, okay? Breathing in, arms come up, interlace the fingers behind the head. Keep the neutral pelvis as you turn towards the corner of the room. So you don't want to stick the butt out, you don't want any sort of disruption through the pelvis. You want to keep that neutral pelvis and you want to keep moving around that neutral pelvis. So arms come up, interlace the fingers, breathe out, turn towards the corner of the room, come back to center, push the arms up and bring them down. Once again, breathing in, arms come out to the side, breathing out, turn, breathing in, come back to center, breathing out, arms go up and bring them down. Think about what's going on with the lower body. Breathing in, arms come up, breathing out and turn. Come back to center, breathing in. Move the arms up and bring them down. Try not to turn the lower body when you turn. You want just the back and spine to work. Arms come up, interlace the fingers. Turn towards the corner of the room. Come back to center. Bring the arms up and bring them down. So that's rotation of the back and spine, just so you know. We're going to bring the legs together now and we're going to get the lower body a bit more involved and we're going to get some lateral flexion going through the back and spine. So your arms are next to you like this. My inner thighs are together, my feet are together. So take note of that. You take a breath in, everyone. You breathe out as you bend the knees forward. This hand slides down, so you watch me first. This hand slides down to the knee. This arm comes up and lengthens up towards the ceiling like this. I'm getting a good stretch through the side of the body. I'm getting the hips and the knees involved as well. Come back up, breathing in like this, and then we're going to slide and go the other way, keeping that sense of flow. We keep moving all the time. Reach up. I'm looking up at my hand that's at the ceiling. Breathe in, come back. Breathing out. Reach up, get a good stretch through the side of the body. Breathing in, come back. Breathing out. Slide. You can start, Marcella. Yeah, good. Come up, breathing in. Breathing out, bend the knee, reach the arm up. You want to get a stretch through the side of the body. So all of these areas, if they're quite tight, they can have an impact on a tight lower back. So you want to loosen them up with these gentle movements. And as I said a few minutes ago, come back, breathing in, breathing out. These are all warm-up movements designed to get you moving in what we call the different planes of motion for the body. So now we're doing what's called a lateral flexion, a bit of lateral flexion of the body, and we're all born with that ability to laterally flex our spinal column. Come back, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, come back, breathing out. As you reach the arm up, bend the knees. You're going into a bit of that sort of little demi-squat, semi-squat. Come up, breathing in. One more time, breathing out, reaching up. And breathing in, come back. Okay, let's spread the legs now, guys. Let's open up everything a little bit more now. So you should be feeling a bit more warm. You should be feeling a bit more centered. Another principle in these classes. Whatever was going on before you started the class in your home, wherever you are, hopefully that's now sort of just left and you're present in the room now, okay? Turn this foot in, turn this foot out, take a wide step. So you can see how wide I've opened my legs, and I always make a point of this because if you've just done a small step like this, this is no good, okay? So this foot is facing that way, this foot is turned in, and if I drew a line from here to here, it will end up in the middle of this foot. The line from here to here would end up in the middle of this foot. Arms come up, you're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out, move forward, you're going to tilt, you're going to come up, pull back. We're going to move forward into that lunging pose. We're going to tilt into the half triangle, try to keep a long back and spine, come up, pull back. We move forward, so you've got to pull back, that's it, good. So go forward first, tilt, get a good stretch as you tilt, reach this arm up towards the ceiling, come up, pull back. Move forward and tilt. Come up, pull back, breathing in. Breathing out, go forward, breathe in, tilt, come up, pull back. Moving forward, so once again a nice slow controlled movement, you're not rushing. So if you're moving slow enough, you'll be able to tell where your body is in the space and you'll be able to control the movement. If you move too fast in this sort of split stance position, you might lose your balance a bit, okay? So you don't want to do that. You want to have a nice slow controlled movement that shows that you know how to use your body. Moving forward, tilt, come up, pull back. Okay, so now we're going to go forward, we're going to tilt, and now we're going to reach this arm out like this, but try to keep, so it's gone over this way now, and try to keep a long back and spine. So look at me, try not to round like this, it's not this. So we're here, I reach that arm out, but I'm still keeping that long column. I'm not overbending. Breathe. So we're just focusing here on the breathing now. We'll do 2 more breaths. Breathe in for 4 to 5 counts. 1 more time. Okay, bring the arm back. Bring this arm up. Pull back. Bring the arms down. So it's as easy as that. We're going to turn this foot in now. We're going to turn this foot out because what we do on one side, we need to do on the other side. Arms come up like this. You're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out, move forward. So this is easy, this is just a lunging pose. You're going to tilt into the half triangle. You're going to come up, pull back. So widen the legs a bit if you think you're constricted, you've got to widen the legs. Move forward, tilt, get a good stretch through the side of the body. Come up, pull back. Now think about where you're directing your gaze. Move forward, tilt, keep the length through your neck. Come up, pull back. Move forward, tilt. Come up, pull back. Again, drive forward into the lunge, tilt. Come up, pull back. Make sure the hips stay low. So if you look at me, when I go forward, my hips drop low. Tilt. Come up, pull back. Once again, move forward. Tilt. Come up, pull back. And now we're going to use the arm now. So we're going to go forward. We're going to tilt and I'm going to bring this arm all the way out like this. So that arm is reaching out towards the wall. So we're just opening up a bit more. Now look at me, try not to collapse. This is not this. I'm in the wrong position now. It's not this. You need to stay open with your face and chest towards your camera or towards the wall that's in front of you. Breathe. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out, bring the arm back, bring yourself up and pull yourself back, bring the arms down. Okay, bring your foot together like this and now walk like this. Do this for me, everyone. Okay, so I want to remind you that think about promoting relaxation as you do the movements. If you're not accustomed to a class like this, you're going to feel like tensing up and you might go through your whole class just tensing up, tensing up, tensing up. You've got to let that go. Alright, so we're going to put one leg down We're going to put the other leg down and we're going to turn ourselves around into the resting position on the mat. So we're coming down onto the mat to do the mat work. And you're going to lie on your mat in this position here like I have, this semi-supine position. You could do the same thing you did when you were standing up. You bring your feet together, you spread the toes, you spread the heels. You want to line up your feet and knees in line with the hips. Your knees are going up towards the ceiling and there's a right angle at the knees. So you've got to judge that for yourself. If your feet are too far away, your feet won't be flat on the ground. And if they're too near the butt, it's too tight an angle at the knee. Okay? 2 fingers on the hip bones, everyone. 2 fingers on the pubic bones, so everyone's doing that. So you put 2 fingers here on the hip bones, 2 fingers on the pubic bones, and you're just gently going to rock the pelvis back and forth like this. And by rocking the pelvis back and forth like this, it will give you a sense of the anterior tilt, that forward tilt of the pelvis, and the posterior or backward tilt of the pelvis. And whilst this is a nice movement for relaxing the hips and for relaxing the lower back, when we do most of the exercises on the mat, we want to have a fairly neutral pelvis where the hip bones up here and the pubic bones down here are on the same level. So just bring your pelvis to the point where you think the hip bones and the pubic bones are on the same level and keep it there. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to lengthen one leg away from you and you're going to elevate the arm above the head like this. When you do this movement, try not to push your ribcage out. Keep the ribcage down. Keep the ribcage soft. Breathe in, bring it back in. Breathing out, lengthen the opposite arm and leg. Reach your arm and leg away from you. So you've got to imagine that someone is pulling your arm and leg away from you. Breathe in, come back. Breathing out, do it, Marcella, you were doing it. Keep going. Lengthen the arm and leg away from you. Breathing in, come back. It's opposite limbs, right arm, left leg. And lengthen away. So you are supported by the ground. This is the comforting idea when it comes to being on the mat. Breathing out, you don't have to stand up and hold yourself in the upright position. You are literally at ground zero. Your gravity is not acting upon you anymore, and this is why we do mat work. Okay, so you can just focus on the movements without having to think about things like balance and holding limbs up and all that sort of stuff. Breathing out, lengthen the arm and leg away from you. So when I look at the quality of your movements on the screen, guys, I'm looking to see that effort as you reach the arm and leg away from you. Breathing in, come back. Breathing out. And I'm looking for that flowing movement. So if I see you open up your body and then you just stay there lying down for forever, that's going to catch my eye. Breathing in, come back. One more. Breathing out and lengthen the arm and leg. And breathe in, come back. So just reflect upon what you just did. Ask yourself, did you manage to keep the neutral pelvis as you open and close the legs? I want you to know that if you found your pelvis rocking about, don't beat yourself up. You just need to remind yourself to bring yourself back to the neutral pelvis and then carry on the movement, okay? So spine curls, you take a breath in, you breathe out. The pelvis tilts towards you as you peel the back and spine away from the mat, coming up into the shoulder bridge position. This is the shoulder bridge position. Knees, hips and shoulders form a slanted line like this. I am not on my neck, I am on my shoulder blades at the top. I take a breath in here, look at me. I breathe out and I begin to lengthen my spine back down sequentially from the top. I'm imprinting my back and spine onto the mat, even the lower back, and then I come back to the neutral pelvis before I start the second repetition. I take a breath in, I breathe out, I roll the pelvis back, I peel the back and spine away from the mat, coming up into my bridge position. I take a breath in here. I breathe out and I begin to lengthen the spine back down bit by bit. So I am pressing into my feet, and I'm sure you can tell that you're doing that too, to bring yourself up. You take a breath in, you breathe out, you tilt the pelvis back and you begin to peel the back and spine away from the mat, coming up. And at the top, I just want to show you 2 things here. The front of the hips, look at me, I'm using my hands, they're nice and open. So my hips aren't down here, still in a bit of flexion. My hips here are nice and open and my chest is open and relaxed. Take a breath in, breathing out and begin to lengthen the spine back down. So you're coming back down You're lengthening the spine back down bit by bit. Good, you're going to take a breath in here. Breathing out and going back down. So I think we've done about 4 or 5. We're going to use the arms in the next one. If you don't feel comfortable using the arms, you just carry on with what I just showed you, okay? You take a breath in, everyone, breathe out, tilt the pelvis back, coming up. When you get here, you're going to elevate the arms and bring the arms behind the head like this. You're going to leave the arms here as you begin to place your back and spine back down like this. You're lengthening the back and spine back down. Come back to the neutral pelvis and then bring the arms over as the last thing. Okay, so just articulation through the shoulders. So you take a breath in first, you breathe out as you tilt the pelvis back, you peel the back and spine away from the mat, you get into this position first. Then you breathe in, you elevate the arms above the head. You breathe out as you lengthen your spine down onto the ground, so you're coming down with the back and spine onto the ground, and the final thing is you bring the arms back over into your starting position. So we're introducing a bit of arm movement, and some people might think, well, that's coordination. Take a breath in, breathing out, and tilt the pelvis, going up, and coordination is another one of the principles in these classes. So we're trying to build your ability to coordinate your movements. A lot of people tend to lack coordination. Take a breath in, breathing out, and as I said, you are lying on the mat. You don't have to think much. You're supported by the ground, so then we can work on these other components that make up fitness. Bring the arms, bring them back forward like this. Take a breath in, everyone. Breathing out, tilt the pelvis back up into the spine curl. We make this one the last one. Elevate the arms above the head. Take a breath in. Breathing out and lengthen the spine back down, bit by bit, coming down, coming down, coming down. And we're going to bring the arms back like this. Okay, so let's move away from that movement now, everyone. I'm just going to move a little bit forward like this here. We're going to bring the arms up like this, hands are facing each other. My shoulder joints are on the mat. Really key to note that because we're going to be moving around the shoulder girdle now. You're going to breathe in as you reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Breathing out and bring the shoulders back down onto the mat. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out and down. So when you reach up, I want you to separate your shoulder blades behind you. Breathing in, reaching up. So I'm separating my shoulder blades in my upper back. Breathing out and down. So pretty simple. This is just mobilization of the shoulder girdle. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out and down. So this time, as we breathe in, we're going to open the arms out to the side into the T position. Breathing in, open the arms out. Breathing out. So if you've got like a coffee table or something in your way, then you need to adapt your movement slightly. Breathing in, I'm adapting my back arm a bit because the fire surround is there, the radiator surround. Come back, breathing in, the radiator cover. Breathing out, big opens, you want to get expansive through the chest. Try not to tilt your head back. And come back, last one. Breathing in, open, and this time when you open your arms, leave your arms in the T position. Alright, so you're going to bring your legs together like this, everyone. So the legs together like this is the easy version of the hip rolls. A bit more intense, you take a breath in, you breathe out, you take up the right leg, you take up the left leg. I'm going to demonstrate the basic one, but if you want to do the one with the legs up, you can, but you need to look at me first if you're not accustomed to doing this class and follow my instructions. You take a breath in, as you breathe out, you're going to tilt your legs one way, but you're going to turn your head the other way. This is the basic hip roll. When I tilt my legs to one side, I keep my shoulder blades on the ground. I come back to center with everything, breathing in, and then I breathe out, I go the other way. I'm going to now take this to the next level, and I'm going to make a point about the abdominals. I bring the legs up, I take a breath in, I breathe out as I tilt my legs one way, I tilt my head the other way in a nice coordinated movement. When I take my legs to the side, my shoulder blades stay on the ground. I don't separate my legs. I don't open the legs. Everything stays connected. I take a breath in here, I breathe out, I pull everything back to center. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate again. I take a breath in, I breathe out, I drop my legs to the side, I turn my head one way. You need to be focusing on the abdominals doing the work. Take a breath in, breathing out, draw the navel in and pull the legs back to center. It's easy to start swinging the legs around, and that is not it, okay? Take a breath in, breathing out, you drop the knees to the side and you turn your head in the opposite direction. You take a breath in, you breathe out, you pull everything back to center. I'm going to do the basic version again. The basic version, the feet remain on the ground, you take a breath in, you breathe out, you drop your knees to the side, and when you drop your knees to the side, try not to take your shoulder blades off the ground. You take a breath in, you breathe out, you pull everything back to center. Do it again, breathing in, breathing out, drop the knees to the side, turn your head, come back in, breathing out. Breathing in, come back to center, keep the focus on the abdominals, and breathing out. And breathing in. Okay, so if you take a look at me, everyone, so what tends to happen in that exercise is this. Everyone wants to keep going, and then you see the shoulder come off the ground like that. And this shows a total lack of control through the abdominals. You just don't have the ability to do the exercise all the way across here. So what you should be doing is going as far as you can go whilst keeping that shoulder on the ground. So if you find the shoulder starts coming off, you need to come back a bit because you lack the ability to go all the way there whilst keeping the shoulder on the ground, okay? So from here, you're going to interlace the fingers behind the head, everyone. You're going to open your legs back out. Feet and knees are in line with the hips. And once again, you want to find your neutral pelvis back. Hip bones and pubic bones are on the same level. Lift your elbows up a bit away from the mat so you can see your elbows in your side vision. You take a breath in, you breathe out as you nod the chin towards the chest and you bring yourself up into the chest lift like this. Just notice that I'm not extremely high. I want to make a point of saying that. My shoulder blades just come off the mat. I take a breath in here, I breathe out and I go back down. I take a breath in, I breathe out, I nod the chin towards the chest and I bring myself up into the chest lift. I take a breath in here. I breathe out and I begin to return the back and spine sequentially down to the ground. My head is the last thing to come onto the mat. I take a breath in. I breathe out, I nod the chin towards the chest, I come up. I'm looking just above the level of my knees as I take a breath in. I breathe out and I begin to go back down bit by bit. Okay, take a breath in, everyone. Breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest, coming up. Take a breath in here. Breathing out and begin to go back down. When you come into the chest lift, you keep the neutral pelvis. Breathing in, breathing out, coming up. Take a breath in. Breathing out and going back down. Show me. Take a breath in first. Breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest, coming up. Take a breath in here. Breathing out and going back down. We'll do one more, then I'm going to add on to challenge you a bit more. You take a breath in. Breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest, coming up. Just look above the knees. Take a breath in. Breathing out and begin to go back down. Right, so you can carry on doing that for the next 4 repetitions, but for everyone else who do the class regularly, so if you're new, I would advise that you just do what we were just doing. Everyone else, you're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out. As you come into the chest lift, you're going to extend the leg out like this. You're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out and come back down, and then we'll do the other leg. So you take a breath in, you breathe out, you nod the chin towards the chest, you come up, you extend the leg out. Both of your thighs are next to each other. You take a breath in here, you breathe out and you begin to go back down. Okay, breathing in, breathing out, come into the chest lift, nod the chin towards the chest, extend the leg out. You're supported by the ground with your lower back. Come back, breathing in. Do one more. Breathing in, breathing out, coming up. And going back down. Okay, so release the hands. So I know, yes, I know you're feeling it through the tummy. I can see you all doing that. You're touching your tummy, yes. You were just working the abdominals, well done. You're going to bring the knee in towards the chest like this. So a little hip flexor stretch. You're going to outstretch this leg onto the ground like this. So with a bit of the arm strength, if you look at me, I'm holding just below the knee, I'm holding the shin. I press the knee down towards the chest like this, and you're there. So the other leg is outstretched on the ground, and at this point I am just going to make an observation because I can see it through the screens. Lots of you are yawning, so obviously the class is having that impact on you. Well done. As long as you're relaxed, I'm happy, because you should be relaxed in a class like this. You shouldn't be tensing up, and all of those big yawns are telling me that I've got you to that point where you are relaxed. Just using a bit of the arm strength here, guys, to press the knee down towards the chest. Do not hold your breath. You're going to breathe in all the way down to the base of the spine, and you're going to breathe out from the base of the spine, and that should take you about 4 to 5 counts to breathe in and 4 to 5 counts to breathe out. And you've got to use a bit of the arm strength just to influence this stretch. Otherwise, if you just held the leg like this here, nothing's actually stretching, so you have to get your hands involved. And in this position, I want you to cast your eyes ahead of you on the ceiling in front of you. If you are pushing your head back like this is wrong. I need you lengthening the neck without overdoing it. You're going to take a breath in, everyone. You're going to breathe out. You're going to swap legs. You're going to extend that bent leg, and you're going to bring the other leg in, pressing the knee down towards the chest. So we're doing the other side right away. So this is a great stretch for loosening up the hip flexors and the lower back, because your hip flexors attach onto your lower back. The hip flexors are implicated in lower back pain issues. So if you're quite tight in the hip flexors, you're going to have lower back pain. So you want to keep those nice and stretched, nice and flexible. You're focusing on your breathing. You're thinking about where your eye gaze is. Take a breath in. You're going to breathe out and release the leg, bring it out. Okay. So we're going to go for hip circles. So still focusing on the hips here, and the hip circles are designed to strengthen and stretch the hips. Okay, so arms are out to the side a bit more like this. You got to keep the neutral pelvis. We're going to do the basic hip circle first. So you take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to take up your leg like this. Look at me. My knee is in line with my hip. My knee in line with my hip. You got to imagine now that you've got a little pencil on the knee. And we're going to go in and around. So you're going to breathe in as you go in, breathe out as you come up. So we're circling, doing hip circles through the hip, like this. So you're going to circle around. And as you do the hip circles, you want to keep the pelvis nice and still. If you find, when you're doing the hip circles, that you're rocking, look at me, you're rocking the pelvis around from side to side, you need to make your circles smaller. That is an indication that you don't have the strength to keep your pelvis still. So you want to make smaller circles so that you can build up towards bigger circles. Once you've done 10 circles one way, you're going to reverse the movement, 10 circles the other way. So pretty simple. You're not doing anything elaborative. You're just doing hip circles. You breathe in for half the circle, you breathe out for half the circle. Yes, you will hear clicking. That is natural when you're moving the hip joint around. Okay, tendons have to move out of the way. Sometimes air gets into the hip joint when you open the hip joint, and when you close the hip joint back, the air pops and you hear that sort of popping, clicking sound. It's got nothing to do with, oh, you're doing something wrong to your hips, you are not. Okay, and bring the leg to the center point once you've done 10, and put the leg down. Other side, you take a breath in, breathing out, bring the leg up, and we go in a bit. So you go in towards the midline of the body, and then out and around. So doing 10 circles. So I'm not really going to go into deep talking about this, because this is a pretty simple exercise. that you're doing, you're circling the hip around, circumducting the hip in the hip joint. You're going to do 10 circles one way, 10 circles the other way, whilst maintaining a neutral pelvis. And it's looking good, just so you know, everyone. And once you've done 10 circles one way, you stop and you reverse the circles the other way. Okay? Okay, and bring it to the point. So I think that's 10 there, everyone. So from here, we're going to move off from lying on our back, and we're going to turn onto our side like this. So we're going to go for double leg lifts now, everyone. So if you remember, we did this in the last class, and I want to keep it fresh in your head. You extend the arm above your head, and you place your head on your upper arm like this, which will keep your neck nice and aligned. When you look down, you need to be able to see your feet. If you look down and your feet are behind you and you can't see your feet, well, you can see I'm now misaligned. Okay, so you want to be more here. This hand goes in front of the chest to give you a bit of support. You lengthen the legs, you engage with the abdominals away from the mat. You take a breath and you breathe out as you lift and lengthen your legs like this. Breathe in and bring it down, okay? Breathing out, lift and lengthen. You've got to imagine someone has some ropes attached to your ankles and they're pulling your legs out towards the wall. Take a breath in, breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. Once again, breathing out and up. So you don't have to lift high. I always make a point of saying this, but when you bring the legs up, I need to see a definite movement that is going up, okay? Breathing out, lift and lengthen the legs. Do not allow your legs to open up like this. Do not do this with your feet. Keep the inner thighs together, breathe in and down. Once again, breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. 2 more, breathing out and up. Breathing in and down, last one. Breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. Okay, so we're going to bend the knees now in front of us like this. Now look at me here, everyone. So I want you to line up the base of your feet with your upper body. So the base of your feet is lined up with your back. Extend this leg now like this and flex your foot like this. Can you see that my foot is facing you and my foot is not facing out like this, facing the ceiling? Your foot is facing forward in front of you like that. You take a breath in, you breathe out as you lift that leg up, and I want you to focus on contracting that outer glute. Breathe in and down. Heather. Breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. I'm lying on my side. I want to make a point of saying that because as I look at the screens, I can see one of you, you're slightly rolling back. You need to be lying on your side. Breathe in and down. Breathing out, lift and lengthen. Contract that outer glute. Breathe in and down. Try not to bounce. Breathing out and up. Push that heel out. Breathe in and down. Keep the connection through the abdominals. Breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. Again. Breathing out, lift and lengthen the leg whilst contracting that outer glute. Breathing in and down. Last one. Breathing out and up. Breathing in and bring it down. Okay, and relax. You can give it a bit of a rub. I know you can feel, oh yeah. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to swap sides, everyone. So just bring yourselves up, turn yourselves around, and come into this position on the other side. So what we do on one side, of course, we've got to do on the other side because you've got a left side and a right side, right? So bring the arm above the head, put your head on your upper arm and keep the neck aligned. Look down, make sure you can see your feet. Place your hand in front of your chest. Engage with the abdominals. Is this one first, Heather? Take a breath in, breathe out, lift and lengthen. Thank you. Breathing in and down. Breathing out and up. Lift and lengthen. breathing in and down. So I'm lifting both legs at the same time. Breathing out, lift and lengthen. Thank you. Breathing in and down. Breathing out and up. Breathing in and down. These are the joyous moments of life. Breathing out and lift and lengthen the feet away from you. Breathing in and down. Again, breathing out and up. Your feet are softly pointed. I want to remind you of that. And your legs are not traveling behind you. So as those legs begin to go up towards the ceiling, just take a little glance and make sure you can see your feet. If you have to overbend your head to see your feet, then the legs are in the wrong position. Breathing out, lift and lengthen. Breathing in and down, last one. Breathing out, lift and lengthen. Breathing in and down. Okay, very nice. Now you're going to bend the knees so you line up the base of your feet with your back. Extend the top leg, flex the foot, lift and down. So you extend the foot, lift. So it's this one, Marcella, and down. So the one for the outer glute, lift and down. Keep your foot flexed, so don't point to the foot, lift and down. So you lift your foot up towards the ceiling and then you bring it back down towards the ground. So you lift that leg up, focusing on the outer butt area, the outer glute, the gluteus medius muscle, lift and down. Two more, lift and down, last one, and lift and down. Okay, and relax. All right, so easy transition, everyone. You're going to turn onto your front and we're going to go into some back extension work now. Your hands are flat on the ground alongside the edges of the mat. Would be a good place to put your hands sort of here. The elbows stay on the ground and my legs are long behind me. Even though I'm lying on my front, my abdominals are still engaged. I just don't let the tummy just drop out. That's not it, okay? Breathe in as you lift your face. Breathe out as you come up into extension like this. Keep your elbows on the ground. Take a breath in here. Breathing out and begin to go back down sequentially from the sort of middle lower back, upper back, neck and head. Pay attention again if you didn't get that. You breathe in as you lift your face, then you breathe out and start to move into extension of the back and spine. I am looking ahead on the ground. If you look at me, I'm looking ahead on the ground. I'm not looking up at the wall. I'm keeping the line of the neck. I take a breath in, I breathe out, and I come back down. Good, breathing in, lift your face. Breathing out, coming up into extension of the back and spine. So we should all look like this. If you're looking at me, part of fitness is mimicking what the instructor is doing and coming back down. So what I'm detecting there as I look at you guys on the screen is some of your arms are too far ahead of you like this. Look at me. Some of you are trying to come up. Watch me here. Some of your arms are too far ahead of you. Your arms need to be alongside you. Can you see where my arms are? They're next to my torso. That's one thing. The other thing that I'm seeing is this. If you look at me, your feet need to be relaxed. Some of you, you're holding your feet up too much. Just extend the feet. Take a breath in as you lift your face, breathing out, coming up into extension. Stay here, breathing in. Breathing out and coming down. Good, breathing in, lift your face. Breathing out, coming up into extension. Stay here, using your back muscles. Breathing in. Breathing out and coming down. We'll do one more. Take a breath in, lift your face. Breathing out, coming up into extension. Show me. Take a breath in here. Breathing out and coming down. Okay, place your hands by your shoulder joints, everyone. You're going to push yourself back into the resting position like this. So arms outstretched above the head, top of the head on the mat. Push the bum towards the heels of the feet and just take a moment. Here we're just going to relax for a second, focusing on your breathing. We're not going to stay for long, but just allowing the back to just free up a bit. Breathe in all the way down to the base of the spine and breathe out from the base of the spine. Take a breath in, everyone. Breathe out. Come into the box position here, everybody. So in the box position, if you look at me, this is how you align yourself. Wrists on the shoulders, knees on the hips. Wrists on the shoulders, knees on the hips. That's how you know you're in the box position. So we're going to the cat stretch and then the up dog or up stretch. You've got a neutral back and spine. You take a breath in, you breathe out, you tilt the pelvis under and you roll through the back and spine like this. Drop your head. Make sure the abdominals are heavily contracted. You take a breath in, breathe out, move your pelvis first, roll through the back and spine and come into this position here. I'm arching my back the other way. Now don't rush, there's no rush. I'm watching what's going on there. There's no rushing. Take a breath in, breathing out. Tilt the pelvis under, roll through the back and spine and bring yourself into this position here. Take a breath in, so this is your cat stretch. Breathing out, going the other way, roll through the pelvis and bring yourself up into this position here. Just lift the chest, look outwards, breathing in. Breathing out and going the other way. Lift through the abdominals, drop the head, take a breath in. Breathing out and going the other way, roll through the back and spine. So simple articulation of the back spine. Take a breath in, breathing out and go the other way, roll through the back and spine, coming up. Drop the head completely, engage through the abdominals quite a lot. Take a breath in, breathing out, going the other way. Take a breath in here. Breathing out, roll through the back and spine from the pelvis, coming into your cat stretch. Take a breath in, breathing out, go the other way into that up dog, extending the back and spine here. Good. And now bring yourself back to the flat back. Alright, so from here I want you to kneel up like this. I want you to take a big step forward like this with your foot. So big step forward is the key instruction here. Not a small step, otherwise you'll end up being a bit like this. I'm not looking for this. I'm looking for the foot to be out here. I'm going to allow you to just put your hands on your hips for the moment. As you take a breath in, you breathe out and you move the pelvis forward like this. Okay, so now we're getting into extension of the hip on the other side. Once you feel comfortable here, you can bring your arms up, clasp your hands like this and look up at the ceiling like this. Okay, so you have another option, just if you don't want to hold your arms up, you can either put your hands back here, or you can put your hands in the prayer position in front of you like this, and you're looking ahead at the wall in front of you. Imagine your horizon is now there. Do not hold your breath. So I want to just recap. You stay there, watch me again. I took a step forward like this, a big step. Then I moved my pelvis, I shifted my pelvis forward to get the hip into extension. And now I'm just holding the position whilst focusing on my breathing. So you're not moving at all, you're just holding the stretch. Take a breath in, everyone. Breathe out. I want you to bring the arms down. I want you to pull the pelvis back first. So you bring the pelvis back first, and then you sweep the leg in like this. Good. So what we do on one side, we do on the other side. You take a big step forward with the other leg. You put your hands on your hips to make it quite simple for you. You take a breath in. You breathe out as you move the pelvis forward. Once you're here and you feel comfortable, you can either stay here, you can bring the arms up into the prayer position here, or you can bring the arms up, clasp your hands like I have, lift your head, look up towards the ceiling and hold. So choose the position that suits you best. You're focusing on your breathing. Don't overdrop your head behind you. You're looking up at the ceiling, but you're not throwing your head all the way back. Be mindful of that. From here, take a breath in, breathing out, release the arms, bring the pelvis back, bring the leg back. Okay, so I want you to come back down into the box position now, everyone, and come towards the front of your mat a bit, like I have. You'll need the extra space on the mat, so come towards the front. From here, you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to take the right leg back. You're going to take the left leg back into the plank position. Then from here, you're going to take another breath in. You're going to breathe out as you push your hips up into downward dog, like this. Okay. So if you are not very flexible, you can bend the knees a bit. Look how I've done it, to take a little bit of the pressure off of the legs. So you bend the knees a bit, like this. Or you also have the option to either walk the legs in a bit or walk the legs out. So find the position that suits you best, but you've got to be in an inverted V position like I have. My head is in between my arms and my neck is nice and free. My sit bones in my butt are shooting up towards the ceiling. The heels of my feet are pressing down towards the ground as much as I can get them there. And I'm contracting through the front of my thighs to lift my kneecaps. And do not hold your breath. You stay there. I'm going to come out of my position to look at you. So the back is nice and long. I'm reiterating the teaching points. Your hips are pushing up towards the ceiling. So the sit bones in your butt are going up towards the ceiling. You have rotated your upper body around your shoulder joints. Your head is in between your arms, but you are not over bowing your head. So don't over flex your head, Laura. Lift the head forward a bit. Yeah, that's it. This is also challenging your arm strength, your upper body strength. So if you come out of the position, that's fine. You take a little rest, you catch yourself, and you make a decision if you want to go back into it. If you feel like you don't want to go back into downward dog, you can just go into resting like this. Okay? I just want to make the point of saying that the downward dog in yoga is considered a resting position as well. But if you find it too strenuous, you can come into this position and just relax, because we're going to come out of that position in a second. So everyone that's in the downward dog position, you're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out as you bend your knees, bring the knees down onto the mat, and then you are also going to push yourself into the resting position here. Just relax. It's natural to start tensing up in an exercise such as downward dog, especially if you feel like everything is quite tight and you're not very flexible and you're not accustomed to being in that position. You start to seize up, the muscles begin to tighten, the breathing begins to tighten up. So I just want you to bring yourself back to that point of relaxation, if that was happening to you just now in this resting position here. This is an immobile position, just relaxing. You're going to take a breath in, everybody. You're going to breathe out and bring yourselves back into the box position here. You're going to curl the toes behind you and you're going to walk yourselves back onto the balls of the feet. So we're going to get up to do a standing exercise, but look at me how I get up from the ground. Everything has a logical sequence to it. You take a breath in, you breathe out, you press the heels of your feet down, you push the hips up, drop your head. Take another breath in. Breathe out and begin to uncurl away from the ground. Just like you did at the start of the class, your neck and head is the last thing up. Okay, so you're back to standing. I haven't moved as yet, and there's a reason why I haven't moved as yet, because as I've uncurled away from the ground, I'm doing a mini assessment of myself, pelvis, abdominals. I'm just checking how do I feel in all of those bits that I built up at the start of the class. Okay? I'm going to stay standing this way to show you the next exercise. We're coming towards the end of the class. You're going to bring the arms up and place them in front of you like this. You're going to extend your leg, you're going to move the leg in front of you like this. And you're going to sweep it around and bring it like this. You're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out, and you're going to slowly lift the leg away from the ground. So now you're on one leg. This is challenging your balance. And for some of you, this might be as far as you can go. But for some of you who do the class regularly, you're going to start moving slowly into that T position. And you might end up here, and this might be as far as you can go. And then you might want to challenge yourself a bit further. The more you lean forward, the more you need to bring that leg up behind you to come into that T position. Okay? Cast your eyes ahead of you on the ground and hold. I'm going to come out of the position just to look at what you've done. So I've said to you, you do not need to go all the way into that horizontal T position. You just move that, you start lifting that leg up. And you've got to go slowly because your center is shifting as you move around. That's one. And two, you're standing on one leg now. So Marcella, you might find like here is nice enough for you. If you look at me, I'm forming that straight line through my body here. Shoulder, hips, knees and ankles. And just focus on that point on the ground. Focus on your breathing. Don't do anything else. And hold that position. So go to where you feel comfortable. Show me. Take a breath in, everyone. Breathe out and bring the leg back down. Bring yourself back up. Okay, so once again, what we do on one side, we do on the other side. So we're going to outstretch. You can relax the arms for a second. Give it a little shake, give it a little shake. Okay, bring the arms back up. Move the leg forward. Bring it around to the back of you. Take a breath in. Breathing out. And slowly begin moving. You're going to feel yourself wobble. That's natural. You're standing on one leg, you're tilting forward. You do not do this every day. So you might find, well, this is good enough for you, you're happy with this. And if you're happy with this, then I'm happy with it too, as long as it's stable and you're holding the position. Otherwise, if you want to challenge yourself, you keep carrying on. You've got to engage those leg muscles even more. You've got to engage your core muscles, your back muscles, even more as you bring yourself into that T position. And then you gaze on the ground and you hold that position. I'm just going to come back, just so I can look at you guys doing this. So I caught a few key muscles there. I said engage with the core, the abdominal muscles. You're engaging with your back muscles as well, because you need to hold a neutral back and spine. You are not rounding your back in this position. I also said to engage strongly through your leg muscles, the one you're standing on. It would make sense to do that, so engage with those leg muscles and do not hold your breath. Don't give up on it, keep trying. Find a point on the ground. Just look ahead on the ground, find a point on the ground to fix your gaze upon. And once you're there and you're feeling balanced, you're feeling stable, just focus on your breathing. I'm not quite sure which one Rachel's doing. Seems like none of them. Okay, take a breath in, breathing out, bring the leg down with control. I know it's quite easy to snap back into the position, just with control come back. Turn towards your camera, your screen. Feet facing forward, you're in your aligned position, everyone. So just remember everything I taught you at the start of the class. You're standing equally on the base of the feet with your body weight, your knees are soft, you've got the neutral pelvis, abdominals are engaged, chest slightly lifted, shoulders pinching together. top of the head lengthening up towards the ceiling. We're going to use those arms. We're going to breathe in, reaching up, up, up. Breathing out and down. One more time. Breathing in, reaching up, up, up. Breathing out and down. Okay, everyone. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Good job. I hope you enjoyed that class, everybody. I'll see you next week.